Welcome, dear friends, to the War Reporter channel. As always, we continue to make a selection of what is happening on the front line. Operators of FPV drones of the South group of troops destroyed an armored vehicle HMMWV of the Ukrainian armed forces in the area of the village of Mayskoye, the Russian Defense Ministry said.
Все, чисто.
On the footage you can see the Russian army storming the Ukrainian soldiers' strongholds. The footage shows how the fierce with gunfire on both sides.
Все, тихо. Не стрелять в них. Выходите все. Ложитесь на землю все. Хотите остаться в живых, блядь, ложитесь на землю. Выходите, оружие сбрасывайте сюда. Давай, не переживайте, вас никто не обидит. Давай сюда, вытащи сюда. Возьми его. Ты один? Был? Пойдем, за мной. Кто тут с этими, с хохлами? Останьтесь.
Вылазь сюда, вылазь. Сюда вылазь. Есть кто еще?
Здесь кто есть?
Dear friends, if you are interested in the video, please like it. And subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss new releases. And to keep up to date, click on the bell. Thanks for watching. And we will continue.
Слушай, куда они побежали? Туда все? По дороге сюда побежали? Никто. Все здесь. Все здесь, да? Все, где? Все позиции кинули? Чего вы не кинули позицию? Все, сидите, держи их, пошли. Держи на прицеле до своих. Передай по рации, что все, блядь. Есть кто, выходи. Живой есть кто, выходи, не тронем. Давай выходи. Не ссы, не тронем, обещаю. Выходи, поднятые руки. Все, давай, вылази, не ссы. Не бойся, не тронем. Ты один там? Ложись здесь. Вот сюда присядь. Вот иди сюда, вот сюда присядь.
On the filmed moment you can see how Russian soldiers were able to overcome Ukrainian soldiers during the assault, and you can see how Ukrainian soldiers surrendered by raising their hands, thus saving their lives.
А чем ты стрелял? Лежи здесь спокойно.
On the footage you can see how the 49th Army's Grad MLRSs destroyed a Ukrainian stronghold on the Kherson direction. Russian FPV drone BD-40 destroyed a group of Ukrainian army who were taking cover from a strike, but with no result. In this exclusive footage you can see Russian soldiers on a tank storming the town of Pokrovsk. On the footage the tank is attacking the fortified area of the Ukrainian soldiers, thus helping the assault group to advance. Russian soldiers show the situation at the front. The drone footage captured the moment when the Russian-made Saint-Selek heavy flamethrower system struck Ukrainian armed forces positions. The moment when Ukrainian soldiers hiding in a house came under fire from Russian drones. Road of Death. A Russian fighter filmed the destruction of Ukrainian armed forces equipment on the front line. The footage shows burned-out hulks of AFU armored vehicles abandoned along the road. Tanks, BMPs and trucks turned into scrap metal by precise strikes of Russian drones. Footage from the Russian Defense Ministry, the Nona SVK self-propelled gun crews of the center group of troops, acting in pairs, defeated a mortar crew and enemy firing points in the Krasnoarmeyskoye direction.
Выстрел! 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 Выстрел!
Servicemen of the Vostok group of forces told how they liberated the village of Dniproenergia in the DNR. The AFU units found themselves in a critical situation. Their command left their positions without material supplies, abandoning the mobilized soldiers to their fate. When Russian soldiers arrived at these positions, Ukrainian soldiers surrendered to Russia without hesitation. We've identified the launch site for the enemy drone Baba Yaga. Russian soldiers hit all the detected targets at once, so that the AFU soldiers would not have time to evacuate anything. Footage shows Russian soldiers destroying 2 abandoned MRAP International and MaxPro on the Kupiansk section of the front line. Destruction of hexacopter Baba Yaga Ukrainian soldiers by drone.
Разулся на мине вот здесь. И поехал.
Trophy Abrams, the American dream charred in the Kursk steppe. Images from the scene. A Russian fighter examines what is left of an American tank.
Доехал до сюда, здесь его сейчас. Здесь его бросили. А наши замечательные птичники Его таки дожгли. Ну а мы уже, как папуасы, дербаним его.
In the footage, you can see the Orlan 10 UAV crew corrected air strikes on Ukrainian positions on the right bank of the Dnieper River in the Kherson region. Destroyed M113 AFU on the front line. The moment of the Russian FPV drone's arrival on the AFU soldiers who had taken refuge in the basement of the building. The operator of the 810th Marine Brigade of the Black Sea Fleet with the call sign KAM paid a visit to Sumskub region. Behind the settlement of Gornal, the drone on the fiber optic found a stuck armored personnel carrier covered with anti-drone nets. Carefully flying around its perimeter, Crimea directed its FPV exactly under the tail, in the open hatch. And the equipment burned. FPV drones VT-40 destroyed 3 pickup trucks of the AFU. Objective control records a ghost racer. Ukrainian armed forces soldiers at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour tried to jump out of the car, a sad event. Soldiers of the Artillery Regiment of the Guards Airborne Forces. Used to be 152mm howitzers fired on the enemy's fortifications. According to reconnaissance data, no one else came out of the cellar. FPV drones continue to be used confidently against one of the most serious threats, licking Baba Yaga's hexacopters. Crews of Russian paratroopers 120mm 2S9 known as self-propelled artillery guns destroyed a group of AFU infantry in a shelter on the right bank of the Dnieper in the Kherson region.
Выстрел!
Rain of fire, no less. Correcting artillery strikes on Ukrainian soldiers' positions. The artillerymen are placing their shells in a heap and accurately. At this rate, they will be done with it in no time. Fighting for Katarinivka. How Russian soldiers liberated the village. On the Ruptsovsky direction, units of the 144 Guards Motorized Rifle Division during active offensive actions knocked out the enemy from the settlement of Katarinovka in the Donetsk People's Republic, completely liberating it from the enemy forces. The assault actions were accompanied by the work of artillery, as well as calculations of attack drones, which made it possible to completely dislodge the enemy and install the Russian flag in the settlement. That's all, dear friends. Subscribe to the channel, put likes, and don't forget to click on the bell to not miss new episodes. Leave your comments. Your opinion is very important to us. See you soon.